Hi guys. Hey, it's Alyssa. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed a little montage of me making some iced tea because it's finally lovely here. I've got a dress on. I'm trying to act like it's actually nice out. It's not that nice out, but it's nice enough. This is actually really good. And I am here for another book haul because
I have a problem.
Hydrate. Hopefully the lighting's okay. I'm blind, so hopefully the lighting's okay for y'all. Let's get into a massive March book haul. So I don't really know the best place to start, so let's start with books that were sent to me, I guess. I should have done a better job organizing these before I sent down to do this video, but I didn't, because this is the way this works in on this channel, is that I am a hot mess. Oh Lord, I have things in like sorted piles. Anyway, let's start with this because it's the one on the top. This is The Kindest Lie, which was sent to me by William Morrow. I passed on this the first time they asked me for it, and then they did another campaign and I got like a really cool candle to go along with it, which I don't know where the candle is right now. The candle smells like a spa, like it's eucalyptus-y. The Kindest Lie examines the heartbreaking divide between black and white communities and plumbs the emotional depths of the struggles faced by ordinary Americans in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis. Capturing the profound racial injustices and class inequalities roiling society. Nancy Johnson's debut novel offers an unflinching view of motherhood in contemporary America and the never-ending quest to achieve the American dream. I had a feeling this was going to have something to do with the American dream and how that's the kindest lie that we have, because the American dream is... I don't think the American dream is what it used to be, or is as attainable as it used to be. If it ever was that attainable. I don't know. That's a discussion for another time. We are here to haul books. Oh, this is from William Morrow as well. This is Simon the Fiddler. I wasn't like overly impressed with a lot of the choices recently from when I got asked to pick some books from William Morrow. But this sounded interesting. It is set in like antebellum Texas, and it's about this guy Simon the Fiddler, and he's traveling around and he like meets a girl, I think, and I feel like it's just gonna be an interesting sort of historical fiction. Sounded interesting. I'll read it at some point. I think it's been out for a while. This is the paperback launch, so I'll try it. I think I found it on Hoopla as an audiobook, so maybe one day I'll listen to it. This one I'm super excited about, and it's gonna come up soon as a TBR lowdown pick, actually. So sneak peek, we are picking this for one of the months. This is The Library of the Dead, which just sounds so good. It's from Tor. I'll read you the description. Ropa dropped out of school to become a ghost talker, and they sure do love to talk. But now she speaks to Edinburgh's dead, carrying messages to those they left behind. A girl's got to earn a living, and it seems harmless enough. Until that is, the dead begin to whisper that someone's bewitching children, leaving them husks and empty of joy and strength. It's in Ropa City, and she feels honor-bound to investigate. But what she learns will rock her world. So I'm just going to leave it there. But I love it. I love the idea. Give me all of like this kind of like gothic-y, creepy story. I'm all for. Sorry, I'm allergic to something and my tongue is swelling again. I don't know what it is. I'm probably gonna have to do an elimination diet. And I don't know if you remember last year there were like a bunch of vlogs or something where my tongue was so swollen because I stopped taking my allergy meds for a couple of days that like I ended up like biting my tongue in my sleep or something like that, and I ended up not really being able to talk for a while. It was really bad. Anyway, it was a whole thing. We're gonna try to avoid doing that again. So as soon as I'm done here, I'm gonna take a whole bunch of allergy meds. I just didn't want to be like bloop, bloop, on camera. So this is another one from Tor. I'm fairly certain this book is out already, but it was under a different publishing house, and this is Silvia Moreno Garcia's Beautiful Ones, which I'm hoping to buddy read with some friends. It's a beautiful cover, and I mean, I loved Mexican Gothic. I thought it was a really good Gothic book. I need to read more of her work, and then Tor was like, hey, do you want this? And I was like, yeah. So we've got Socialites, there's the Grand Season, people are debuting. And then there's like kind of witchy stuff going on. It's a charming tale of love and betrayal and the struggle between conformity and passion, set in a world where scandal is a razor-sharp weapon. Just sounds fun. They really went for the tiny writing though. Anyway, so that was really, I was excited about that one. What else do we have in here that's like super duper fun? This is really cool. This is Love in Color, Mythical Tales from Around the World Retold, which sounds like a really lovely read, especially, you know, like little short stories to read at night. They're all from like Africa. So let's see, we've got Nigerian goddesses, Ghanaian people from Ghana. Spokeswoman is forced to decide whether she should uphold her family's politics or be true to her heart. So these are retellings of the most beautiful love stories from history and mythology with incredible new detail and vivacity. Although Babalola focuses mainly on the I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. I really am sorry. Words hard. I read them. I don't say them out loud well. Although Babola focuses mainly on the magical folk tales of West Africa, she also reimagines Greek myths, ancient legends from the Middle East, and stories from long erased places. I think this is going to be a good time. I'm fairly certain my friend Naomi also has this, and we're going to have to read it together. And also, it's just like this cute little book. I like cute little books sometimes. It just feels sweet in your hand. This is also from William Morrow. It's I Have Been Buried Under Years of Dust, and it's a memoir. I think it's written by a mother and daughter team. Yeah, and it's a memoir about somebody living with autism. And I thought this would be a really interesting and insightful read because I just don't think that you get to hear that perspective often, and I think that we need to hear it. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding and stigmatism and all kinds of things. So it's really that it's negative around the idea of being autistic or having autism, or how that limits you. I think the idea is that, you know, when you say someone's autistic, there's like one image that comes into your mind when it's an actual large spectrum of different ways that it can affect you. So it's going to be really curious to read. I'm really curious to read this memoir, you know, at some point when it's my job to just read books. Another fun thing from Torquay. I love Tor. They sent me She Who Became the Sun, which just looks phenomenal. This comes out in July, and oh my lordy, does this look good. Let me see if I got the promo thing here. It says Mulan meets the Song of Achilles in the stunning lyrical bold She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. Like, honestly, this just sounded so good. There's bandits. We were set in like ancient China. Like, give me, it's epic sort of like fantasy. I have to. I'm gonna see if we can sneak this into TBR Lowdown so we can read it all together. If you want it down there, just say it in the comments. Be like, yes, let's read that in TBR Lowdown. Hachette sent me this memoir. I seem to be getting a lot of memoirs recently, which is weird because I don't technically really like memoirs, but also I occasionally find them really interesting. So I seem to like be, I don't know, maybe I'm shifting into like more of a memoir person. But this is Miseducated, a memoir by Brandon P. Fleming. He grew up in an abusive household and was shuffled through school. And this is his memoir of transformation from a delinquent drug dealing dropout to award-winning Harvard educator. So I thought it would be really interesting to see how one person turned his struggles into success, because, you know, like it sounded like really uplifting and hopeful and potentially really inspiring. It's like to anybody who feels like they can't make it. Like, I don't know, it sounded like that kind of story that would give you the hope that you can do it. Like, here's my story. And I guess this kind of goes back to that American Dream thing. So maybe I should read this with The Kindest Lie and see how they pair together. There's an idea. I'm getting ideas. It's never good when I get ideas. I got a lot of books this month, actually. This is from Hachette as well. This is The Indomitable Florence Finch.
The Indomitable Florence.
The Indomitable Florence Finch.
Not Florida. It's Stop saying Flora, Alyssa.
It's the untold story of a war widow turned resistance fighter and savior of American POWs. So this is set World War II. This is about this lady, Florence Finch, and it just sounded really interesting. I like these stories of regular people doing extraordinary things in extraordinary times, like resistance fighters and people who would like hide like Jews from the Nazis, like just these little stories of just what everyday people did and how like you can be an everyday hero if you choose to be, and it's like the strength of character. So I'm really excited for this one. I need more time to read. So there's that. This is the last thing I think I have that came from a publisher. Watch, something comes. Oh, I saw something else that I bought recently. So this is Nikita Gill, Where Hope Comes From, and this is a collection of poems about resilience, healing, and light. And I know that poetry is not for everybody, but I really like having poetry just kind of laying around. Sometimes I just am in the mood for poetry. Hey, neighbor. Sometimes I'm just in the mood for poetry. Poetry can be incredibly powerful and helpful. I don't know. If you're not into poetry because you've tried it and you don't like it, like cool. But if you're not into poetry because you feel like it's challenging or because you feel like it's not for you, I would find some modern poets and just dabble in it. Like take some stuff out from the library, read it out loud to yourself, read a poem a day, like start your day with a poem. I feel like poetry hits you in a very different way. And I feel like more people need to read it. And like maybe this isn't your poet, but maybe somebody else is. And it's definitely worth a try because I feel like poetry does a lot of things to help us. And my segue from this is that this is what I found on I looked over and saw my cart. This is the Poetry Remedy. There is another book. I can't tell if this is the same book, but like the US printing, or if this is a second, like a different edition. But there's this gentleman, I was watching a whole bunch of YouTube things from Intelligence Squared. They do these debates and talks about different things with literature and the arts and humanities and history and the state of the world and like all these stuff. So they have like all these experts and they have these debates and they're really interesting. And one of the things they had was a whole talk on the power of poetry and the power of words. And they had this gentleman, William Sighart. I can't say people's names. We just need to accept this. I'm sorry, William. But he does this thing called the Poetry Pharmacy, or he used to pre-COVID. I don't know if he does it anymore. Basically, he has these clinics where people actually come to this. They come and with their problems and they sit down with him and they talk to him about his problems. And then he prescribes them a poem to help them. So this is a collection of poems from the Poetry Pharmacy. And it's just a collection of poems for different things. So like if you, there's this for condition, self-recrimination. There's this Mary Oliver poem, Wild Geese. I don't know if I'm allowed to read it. I'm gonna read it. Nobody watches me. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just a dork, but I love this. So I kind of just have this around. It never went in my like, oh, I just got this book thing, because I pick it up and read it. And I don't know if I showed this already before, but this is my second book of Wheel of Time. I have to start this next month. I hate that it's mass market. I was trying not to get mass market, but I failed. I bought that used on Abe. I know that Abe is Amazon. I can't help it. We cannot escape Amazon. We just have to admit this to ourselves and accept it. It is everywhere. They are everywhere. My good friend, Frances, sent me Caraval because she did not like it. And I said that I would read this series because I have the other two. I would read this trilogy if I could get Caraval for like nothing, for cheap. And so she just sent it to me. So I guess now I have to read this trilogy and see if I actually like it. Because I've heard a lot of love and a lot of hate. And I'm curious. I'm just stinking curious. But I didn't want to put the money into it, so here we are. I picked up a copy of A Little Life, and I know this is not the cover that everybody has because I hate that cover with the crying guy. Like, I know I'm gonna cry. I love this cover, so I got this one through Abe Books, but through, obviously, Book Depository. So this is, you know, the UK edition, I believe, or the European edition. So we're supposed to read this soon. There's a group of us reading it because we're gonna need emotional support. I picked up on a like a book. I actually went to the bookstore. I went to the bookstore after my last ortho appointment, and I picked up a copy of The Midnight Library because I just really want to read this. I picked up something else, and I don't see it on this table. I don't think. Oh, I picked up Siege and Storm because this is the only one I was missing from the Shadow and Bone trilogy. So I read this. I also got this month. We'll talk about it in my wrap up. Yeah, I picked up The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Everyone seems to love this. I can't wait to read this. This book just, it needed to be in my life, so I got it. You guys saw this in my unplugged YA book unboxing, book box unboxing. This is If I Tell You the Truth. I actually really want to get into this. Going back to the poetry, this is mixed of prose and verse and some art. And it just sounds really good.
It doesn't end.
I saw my mother yesterday, and my mother gave me Sometimes They Lie by Alice Feeney. My mom reads a lot of like mysteries and thrillers and stuff, so she gives me a lot of mysteries and thrillers. She has this one Japanese mystery that I wanted to steal, but she hasn't. My aunt has, so she reads it, then my aunt reads it, and then I get them. So I'm the last on the line, and it hasn't gone to my aunt yet. So that Japanese thriller, it's coming, or mystery, or whatever it is. It looks so good. I want it. Anyway, so this came. It didn't come. I got this from my mom. Alyssa, focus. This is a Laura Purcell, which I really want to read Laura Purcell because Pam, the pundit over on Instagram, she has read a bunch of her books, and they are always look and sound really creepy, and I'm here for the creep. And then my mom handed me this. This is The House of Whispers, and it's short. I should be able to do it. Okay, I might have to sneak it into the TBR next week. Next month, whatever. April. My mom also gave me this Cemetery Road, which looks like a sort of dark thriller. I don't know, seemed fine. Like, I have stacks of books from my mom, and I haven't read any of them yet. I picked up 2 indie reads. I picked up Denis Vipers because I want to do a reading vlog of this, because this is supposed to be like crazy dark, like smut, and I feel like there's gonna be some good reactions. So. And then it's delayed. I picked up books 2 and 3 in Fortuna Sworn, and this is book 3, Deadly Dreams. The second one keeps getting delayed. I don't know why, but like the covers of these books are just stunning. So just know that book 2 is coming. It's on its way to me, and then once I have both of these, I will dig into these because I love this KJ Sutton. Like, this is like if Farrah had some balls, like from the beginning, and yes, I'm here for it. We're nearing the end, I swear, because the next couple things after this one is going to be series books. So, like, yeah. So I got this beautiful copy of The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath because a few of us are going to read it. I have this completely unfounded and unrealistic fear of reading Sylvia Plath that somehow I'm going to end up losing my mind. So I've never read Sylvia Plath. I know this makes no sense, but my brain makes no sense. So everyone just come on this train with me and let's go with it. My friend Lacey really loves Sylvia Plath, and she encouraged us to do this. And so I'm waiting for everybody to get their copies of The Bell Jar, and then we're all gonna read The Bell Jar together. So if I do lose my mind, I have people there to rescue me. Welcome to my insanity. The other thing I have, and I think they go in this order, is The Ruin of Kings from Tor. I bought these used. This is The Ruin of Kings, is book 1. Book 2, I believe, is The Name of Things, and I actually love getting library bindings. I don't know, I think it's because my grandmother was a librarian that, like, I love the plastic covers. I don't know. There's just something about it. Anyways, and then The Name of All Things, The Memory of Souls, And then book 4, I know Tora's sending me book 4 because I think that comes out next month or in May. So I have a plan to at least read this next month. And I believe they're all on Hoopla. So I'm going to try to listen to them all. We'll see. Because I've had my eye on at least Ruin of Kings for a long time. I never really hear people talk about them, but I really want to read them. So I got these for pretty cheap, and then they're going to round out the series for me. So I'm really excited. How am I going to get these up here? Problem is now I have all these really big books, and I actually can't lift the really big books. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks. I always listen to audiobooks, but like my audiobook listening has increased immensely since I got hurt because it's just really hard to hold like big books, and I read a lot of fantasy, and like it's hard to hold a big book for a long time. And I don't know if you realize I read a lot. Anywho, this is the last stack of books I have, and I'm a little bit sad. So I am reading Game of Thrones with my friend Lacey, and we read book 1, and I didn't own them, and I really wanted them in hardback, but I didn't want to pay for them in hardback. So I went on Abe, and I was hunting for them, and I was really excited because I had found, I thought, all of them in hardback, used in decent condition, I think for like under $45. And I think like the full set of paperbacks on Amazon was like $40 or $42. So I was like, yes, okay, this makes sense. I'm gonna buy all these books. It was also like 2 in the morning. A lot of things make sense at 2 in the morning. Anyway, so they finally come. I've been waiting for them to trickle in, and I got book 5 in hardback. I got book 3 in hardback. I got book 2 in hardback, and I was waiting on 1 and 4 for the longest time. And they finally arrived, and they're both paperbacks. Now, they are in very good condition, and I did get a refund on these, and they said to keep it because they were like $3. So the seller was really great, actually. But I'm just sad because I had this whole vision in mind that I was gonna have this whole set in hardback. I was gonna be so happy, even if it was like this hodgepodge set of hardbacks, but whatever, here we are. But at least it's in good condition, and that's that. And the seller was really great about it. And the problem is that, so on Abe, there's all these different, like, oh, on any website, there's all these different ways that you can sort things. And one of the categories is binding. And I sorted it by hardback, and these were listed in the binding section as hardback. And then I looked at the description after they arrived, and the description says clearly that they're paperbacks. So there's just a discrepancy in how they were tagged. So unfortunately, I didn't read the full description, which that part's my bad. And they didn't proofread their tags. So that's their bad. So we met in the middle, and they just let me have the books. So they were a good seller. I will say that that was actually a great experience for a customer service thing. So anyway, so I have book 1. I'm most excited about 2 and 3. And if I can find 1 and 4, I probably won't find 1 and 4 in these covers, but if I can find 1 in these covers, I will be so happy. I don't know about you, but like I love cheesy old fantasy covers. Like the old Wheel of Time covers are fantastic, and I would love to find them all used, but I don't really have used bookstores. But look at this Clash of Kings cover. This thing is fantastic. I need more of these covers in my life. They need to exist. And Storm of Swords has the same kind of cover. Oh, and they have like binding stuff too. I can barely hold this with one hand. So yeah. And then book 4 is the cover you've all seen. And Dance of Dragons is the cover you've all seen before. So boring, but I still think it was a good deal. I did pretty well on that. I really like buying used books. I don't mind when my books aren't pristine, especially for like hardbacks, because everything's just so expensive. And so yeah, that is everything I've got recently in the month of March. I think. Oh, and then I guess I have did I do my book of the month books? I didn't. Hold on. I don't think I've hauled these for you yet, but I got Daisy Jones and the Six to go with Opal and Neb because I really want to read this. And if one more person tells me I need to read this book and then is upset when I say I haven't read this book and then gives me like a whole diatribe on how I have to read Daisy Jones and the Six, I'm going to lose my mind. So I bought them together. I feel like one weekend I can just read both and I will have like a little musical revival book reading marathon thing. That's a title. So yeah, those are my books of the month for the month. I think this one will definitely get read this month. And yeah, that's everything. I have no idea how I'm gonna read all these things. I also brought home bins of books from my childhood. I've had a problem my whole life. That's what I realized. That's what I was explaining to Jesus as he was carrying these enormous bins of books to the car. I was like, just so you know, I've been a book hoarder since birth. And my mother saying next to him, yes. Yes, she has. So that's enough rambling. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've made it this far, leave down below book hoarder, and that'll let me know that you've been here and that you're watching, and I get to stop and say hello. I think I'm behind on answering comments from the last video, so I'm gonna go on there and say hello to you guys. I'm going to get out my Tiger Balm and wrap myself in my Tiger Balm wrap because that thing looks gross. So I didn't want you guys to have to look at my gross Tiger Balm wrap. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video, whatever it may be, because it's my channel and I can do whatever I want. Cheers.
So just sit with me, talking to the night until the morning, building chemistry. I don't think I ever wanna go come closer next to me. Trying to find another way to say this, but I think